Yeah. I carry this red sticky note with
And
me.
add the AI companion so it takes the notes.
Well, it's exciting. We have, from what I've noted so far, we have members from Spain and New Zealand, and we have our Rotaract friend, Marina from Uganda. So that's fantastic. Thank you for being here. And now let me hold on just a second. I'll open up our slideshow and then share that and get us going here. Okay. Back to you. Okay, everybody sees the screen okay? Oh, you're being very
Yes.
good and you're all muted, so oh my goodness.
You might
All
want to
right,
do
well,
slideshow though, so you don't show the side ones.
say what?
You're showing the side ones too, not the full screen. Hit slideshow.
I did,
Oh, well then you're not sharing full screen.
and I see a full screen.
Yeah, so go back to share and then hit share everything.
Stop share. Okay, you want me to hit share again? How about this one? Is that better?
When it says entire screen. Yep,
You like that one?
I do. Welcome. Bienvenido.
All right, it's 6 o'clock, so let's go ahead and rock and roll. Welcome to eGlobal Travelers, October 14th. Fabulous. Okay, so now I've just got to get the thing to change. There we go. All right, so we serve the world, we travel together, we meet people, and we have fun. So we are going to have some announcement today and have a little bit different type of new member welcome. And then we're also going to move up our Rotary Minute a bit so that Susan needs to leave a little early. So we're going to accommodate that. Otherwise, we've got our normal show here. So we are a Rotary E-Club within District 5950 of Minnesota with members spanning the globe. And guests, welcome. Put your name and your email in the chat. We can add you to our mailing list. And as Or was saying, on Zoom, you can rename yourself to identify not just who you are, but where you are. Because again, it's nice to know where people are coming from. And if you are interested in learning more about us or joining travelers that like to do service as well, you see Paula's email there, paularotarygh@gmail.com. And muting yourself is always helpful unless you're speaking. And please, any questions that you may have or comments, put those in the chat. Or is monitoring the chat for me tonight, and I thank him for his technical help. So Deb Kornhauser, come on off mute and give us our announcement, please.
Okay, we're talking about the English Express tutoring with the Ethiopian students over they're in college, and I think we're going to have beginner English and intermediate English. And the application, which is on the website, is supposed to close tomorrow. But I will, wait till like Saturday or Sunday. Right now we have only 9 people signed up, and I'm worried that people think that they have to be an English teacher. Really, I just from my experiences in different situations, the students just want to communicate in English. They don't have any contact with people who are natural English speakers. That's their first language. And just little interactions to talk about, what they're doing or something that's going on or a question they have. Anytime they can just use English and go back and forth really helps them learn. And I just know from different events that Rotary people tend to be extroverts, and that's what you need, just someone who can make conversation. We're going to give backups with some maybe ESL sheets if there's that you don't know what to say or some topics. But I just want to encourage everybody. I know it's hard for 3 months to commit, but I just want to encourage people to try and do it and think of it as a fun time. And if you have questions, um, I'm certainly willing to answer them, and I'm going to try and see if I can get Melanie to set up a meeting time as soon as we have you paired up that we can talk with Tom too and just talk through some basic things to set up for what we're going to do. We've talked about it. It's
Thank you,
Saturday
Deb.
morning. It's at 8:30 Central Time. Depending where you live, you have to adjust that. And that's because that's when the students are done with their afternoon classes at 4 o'clock in Ethiopia, and they go to dinner at 6:30, and everything's paid for and provided. So we have to do it within that time frame.
And Deb, thank you. Just one
Yeah.
quick question. I know having somebody that can commit for that full time helps with continuity. But if someone wanted to maybe sign up as a backup or for a few dates, would that also be acceptable?
That would also work. I just got somebody who wanted to do it, but they're going to be out of town in November and December, but she's willing to be a backup person for January because I know I'm gone in January and can't do it. And we're going to try and pair the mentors up so the mentors can cover for each other and maybe work with two students sometimes so that you're able to go out of town. We're not going to do it on Thanksgiving. We're not going to do it the weekend of Christmas, Ethiopian Christmas, and Ethiopian Epiphany for sure, because everybody's busy those times. But I just want to give encouragement that it's a fun thing. I don't think it will be a lot of work.
And I will tell the group that as someone who helped with the pilot, I agree with what Deb said, and I still need to sign up as well. So Deb, put me down, but I'll fill out the form.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. So much. It's a great program. All right, so I said we have a little bit different of a welcome new member. So not a new member to our club, but new to us, Assistant District Governor Ryan Fagan. And he thought he might be able to come tonight, but I didn't see that he had been able to sign on. But so he has a lot of technical background, and therefore he is only assigned to the e-clubs. And I hope maybe you'll take down his email and his phone number. And I just had to chuckle to myself. And Alana, I know that you are online tonight. He said, yeah, and I know Alana. It's like, well, of course you do. Everybody does. So anyway, thanks, Alana, to making that connection as well. And hopefully one of our meetings, he will be popping in and saying hello. So Ryan Fagan. And also, while it isn't official yet, there is a nominating process and then a voting process. I don't know, since not everybody gets our district newsletter, it would be interesting to share that this is Scott Swenson may be up in line as well. So just introducing you to him at this point in time. So our wonderful travelers, I tell you what, part of the best part of putting slides together for our meetings is getting all the pictures that are sent to me and sharing in your excitement of your travels. So here we see two of our members, Brenda McGuire and Rahul Wadhwa, and Taj Mahal, easy to get. And isn't that a fantastic picture? But they were Rahul and Brenda, excuse me, were able to meet up in Delhi. And then she also spoke at a Rotary meeting in Jaipur. So sharing the Rotary message with everyone in there in India. And then our friend Monette, and Monette does our Facebook and Instagram. So tons of kudos to her. And she was having fun in Sicily with an interactive Oscar Wilde. Now, not often do you get to have that, right? Interactive. And Peter and Becky they went on a 10-day cruise. Sadly, Hurricane Gabriel kept them from seeing a few of the places that they wanted to go, but they still managed to have a ton of fun. And Bob and I had just been to Bilbao, Spain, and it was great. I enjoyed it thoroughly. So I'm glad that they got to see that as well. District 5710, my old district, they had their conference and somebody, thanks. Did the House of Friendship and put together a little slide for, or show their, not show, pamphlets for potential associate members, right? So that was fun to do. And as you can see, Amy Nicholson and Kelly McKeever having lunch in Iowa City. Fun to do that. And then our immediate past president, Melanie DeLuca, and our past president, Paula Schwartz, they've been having fun but working hard in Costa Rica, building brick ovens. So they sent several pictures, going to share, oops, well, there were several pictures. I think this didn't get updated. But anyway, so we will be hearing more about building bricks to ovens. And I think I have those slides buried a little bit further. David A., one of our Canadian members, having fun there in, as you can see, Munich and then in Warsaw. And Myrna, who's on tonight, she spent the night in a yurt. I just love that, in Salzburg, and then went on to a place that's on my bucket list, Lake Como, after spending some time in Venice. And I see they're there with the Rotary International sign. So thank you, Myrna, for sending those pictures in. And Helmut is also on our phone call tonight, and look at him and his fez and beautiful Morocco. I knew I had those pictures somewhere in there. So here's more about the bricks to bread. Is it, they said in their words, they are bird dogging this as possible hands-on trip for global travelers. And we had the pleasure of seeing Julie Grape here in Kansas City. She was here for work, and we able to spend some time at an art gallery and then also having dinner. So Linda is our.
Before you do that, there's a question for Deb in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Is English Express something that local high school students could do, or do we only want club members?
I think we only want club members right now.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Laura. So Linda, are you on tonight?
I am here.
All right, fantastic. Well, take it away, friend.
Great. Well, hello. I'm Linda Hall. I'm a member of the Arlington Club of Rotary Club of Arlington, Virginia, and joined Global Travelers as an associate member, I guess maybe 4 or 5 months ago. So Lynette spoke to our club virtually, and myself and Bob Carolla from our club joined up as associate members. So I'm happy to be here. Next slide, please. So just a little bit about who I am. Starts with family, of course. So I have a lot of family in Florida, and that's the picture on the left. My mom is there, doing well in her mid-90s. My 3 sisters live there, and all of their brood. The center photo are my daughters. They're identical twins, and that's them with their partners. And then the photo on the far right is me and my husband, Jim. Excuse me, his son, Mark, and then our granddaughter, Violet, who's 10. And that's us heading out for 5 days of backpacking in Denali National Park this past summer, which was amazing, challenging, but amazing. So that really connects to kind of what inspires me and what inspired my career, and continues to inspire the work that I do with Rotary. So which is our natural resources, the natural world, and the wilderness that we've been able to preserve. And I've been very lucky that my husband and I have done a fair amount of exploration and trekking and hiking in some pretty wild places over the last 10 or 12 years, but it doesn't have to be that. I just love, I love being in nearby park or really any kind of nature. And that, next slide, please, was a love that came to me quite early and inspired my education and my vocation. So I studied environmental science and a bunch of related sciences, and worked 40 years basically in environmental management, and 31 of those were at the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. I retired 4 years ago. And I worked in a number of programs at EPA, but most of my career there was in water quality management. So there are programs that create drinking water standards to keep drinking water safe, programs to write permits so businesses can discharge some pollution, but not a whole lot of pollution into the waters, and programs, and these are the ones I worked in for the last 10 years or so, to basically build up habitats and restore streams and lakes that maybe have gotten a little bit degraded, and restore them so that they can be used for fishing and swimming, and maybe a source of drinking water if that's the case for them. So it was very rewarding work. I really loved it. Next slide, please. And I thought I would just share a fun fact. All of us work in different fields, and they're so complicated, and there are hundreds or thousands of people that work in those fields or enmeshed in it. And then most of the rest of us are completely, unaware of how those fields work. And I think that's true of the field that I worked in too. So I'm just going to give you a little snippet that you might be interested in about how these programs work that keep, local streams, rivers, and waterways clean. And basically the agencies that are in the lead are state agencies. So I've got the Virginia Department of Environmental Quality's logo here, but every state has an agency, or in most cases, more than one agency that's responsible for stewarding natural resources, and in particular for cleaning up and restoring waterways. And so EPA programs work kind of in partnership with the states, with funding and technical assistance, and also local partners and soil and water conservation folks. So a real labyrinth of people, and that work goes on, year in and year out to keep things better in terms of water quality. So that's my fun fact about what it's like to work in the water quality management realm. And so the final slide is, so when I did retire 4 years ago, I was, I had loved being in public service. I wanted to continue being in service, and that's when I joined Rotary. And I've had a number of leadership positions in our club. And right now I have founded and am the leader of the Green Team, of course. So getting to continue the work that I love in environmental stewardship, kind of more at the local level. And our team, some of them shown here, helps to lead stream cleanups, litter cleanups in a nearby stream. And we're also doing some recycling of tech devices that have rechargeable batteries. Those can be all those things that are sitting in our drawers. They can be recycled, and all those precious metals reused to make new batteries. So that's another thing that we're doing in our club and hope to expand.
Sorry. So sorry.
That's the equivalent of getting the cane around the neck. So that's it for me.
No. Well, thank you, Linda. And I'm so glad that you are part of our club. And I equally am a huge advocate for clean water and clean everything. That's hard to do. So thank you so much for your service and the things that you have done in your career, and sharing that with Rotary as well. So thank you so much, Linda. And speaking of things I'm a huge fan of is polio eradication. So Susan, if you would go off mute and start us off.
Thank you, Lynette. Polio Plus is Rotary's legacy project, and we've been working over 40 years as an international organization to eradicate polio. Polio's paralyzing effects, especially for children under 5, are eliminated by the vaccine. 20 million people are walking today who would have been paralyzed by polio without its widespread use. Next slide. When a polio outbreak was reported in Gaza, August of 2024, Rotary committed $500,000 toward vaccination efforts carried out by its partners in the Global Polio Eradication Initiative. In collaboration with governments and partner organizations, Rotary helped nearly 560,000 children get vaccinated. Next slide. Several of our members have joined vaccination events, and we will have an opportunity to hear from them at future meetings. Mary Jane Westra and Rahul Wadhwa, who we just saw in India with Brenda. He's leading a couple of those that have been mentioned in your newsletter. Rotary's massive campaign to eradicate this debilitating disease has resulted in narrowing wild polio virus cases to 2 countries, Afghanistan and Pakistan. This final phase of the polio eradication effort has proven to be the toughest. The number of children paralyzed by polio has been reduced by 99% over the last 4 decades, but the virus continues to spread in some of the most difficult places on the planet to deliver health care. Political instability has hindered healthcare workers' tireless efforts to reach every child with life-saving vaccinations, including polio. But the good news is, go back, I'm not quite ready. The good news is in April of this year, 21 and 23, Afghanistan carried out its first nationwide polio vaccination campaign of the year and immunized 11 million children under the age of 5. 4 weeks later, they had their second nationwide campaign synchronized with Pakistan's. Even with the difficult environments of these 2 countries, Rotary's eradication program continues to adapt to protect every child. Next slide. In 2024 and 25, Rotary members contributed $27 million and countless volunteer hours to reach this point. Rotary has advocated to other countries on behalf of polio eradication, which resulted in $10 billion worth of contributions toward the cause. Next slide. World Polio Day is Friday, October 24th. In celebration of our progress and to help push forward to the end, we encourage you to, as a Rotarian, to do something to highlight Polio Plus and Rotary's longstanding efforts. Next slide. Consider a social media post. This meme and other ones like it are available for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram in Rotary's toolkits and brand center. They're very helpful and useful, an easy way to make this happen if you're interested in doing that. Next slide. Wear your Polio Plus t-shirt if you have one. Next slide. Give a donation. There's a button at the bottom of each newsletter. That takes you to Rotary International. When donating, have your member number, which is on your Rotary magazine label, and your district number 5950 handy. You can also donate directly through endpolio.org. Our club's goal for Polio Plus contributions this year is $2,500, so please give a donation some thought. You'll be hearing more from me next week. Thank you. Or next meeting.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Susan. And you have your Polio and Polio Now shirt on.
I do.
Yeah, those of you that on the Ecuador trip and the Peruvian trip, we will be traveling on the 24th of October. And guess what Bob and I will be wearing? Yes, our
I will try to
polio.
remember to wear my Give Polio the Finger shirt.
Okay.
It's they dip, when they give the shot, they dip the finger in purple ink, so it's showing like this.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. All right, thank you. Yes, polio, it's just amazing. We've come so far, and yes, we have a little bit further to go. Thank you, Susan. Well, we have two speakers, if you will, focus topics, and we are going to share the committee strategic plans, and then we're also going to hear from Ed Basl, who is going to talk to us about leveraging their credit card points for travel. So first, let's hear from our committee members. When we started out, well, when it's my term started out, I had mentioned that we, put together goals, which we've already talked about at earlier meetings, but that we'd be coming to you in October with some strategic plans. So these our goals will be revisited again in January. You'll hear how we're doing with that. But this just allows us an opportunity to build on all of the great things that have already transpired in our club, and to thank everyone for their support of the club, and then also for continuity, stretch our thoughts into the future, and go well beyond 2025 and 2026. So some of these are already in place. Some we've got some dates we're thinking about, but some may come to fruition and some may not as things change. But it's out there, because if you can't see where you're going, you probably aren't going to get there. So from an executive board perspective, one of the things that we want to do, again, for the continuity and to share how we're progressing, is telling our story on our website, on our dashboard. And if you haven't been out to the website lately, there's always new information, and the dashboard is out there. Also, continuously looking for ways to create member engagement opportunities, right? So you've been, some of you are getting your interest groups started, so those are ways. And also, just what can we do to improve club operations? Again, just challenging ourselves to see what, like we're doing right here with the strategy updates. So now we'll hear from some of our other committee chairs. Robin, you're up next.
Hello, everybody. As the secretary for the club, probably the most important thing that I do is ensure that Rotary International and DAC-DB records match, making sure that everybody has the appropriate time and all that information. I also record the minutes of the board meeting and send out the synopsis to be in the newsletter. And for the regular meetings, we don't necessarily take minutes. We record these, they're a YouTube video, and those links are posted as well. And that's pretty much it.
Thank you, Robin.
Hello.
Sylvia, are you taking?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. Lisa's probably sleeping, so it's all good. So Lisa Bellamy and I are responsible for foundations and grants, and we put the two groups together last year. And it was a very strategic way to do it and think about it, because as we fundraise for the foundation, we then want to be able to link that with the work that we do. So some of the things that we want to think about, or we are thinking about within this part of the organization or this particular committee, is around balancing the numbers, making sure we're really thinking about where we're putting our dollars and what makes most sense to that. And we have a whole process that, of course, if you're interested, we could absolutely share with you. The second component, of course, is encouraging donations. If we don't have funds within our foundation, then how can we actually give back? Sure, we all love to go out there, roll up our sleeves, and get in it with everybody else. But how do we also support other clubs, our own initiatives? And so you're going to continue to hear this year a little bit around how do we make donations, in addition to some of the ways that we've done them in the past, which is through, of course, like polio, as Lynette was talking about, and Susan at the beginning, reminding you of this, but also interspersing it throughout in a variety of different ways. And you'll hear more about that throughout the year in the various newsletters and meetings like this.
Thank you, Sylvia. Okay, Mr. DeLuca.
Trips and service. We're the fun group out of the committees. We're the ones that put together the trips for you. And a couple of the things we're looking at going forward is the creation of our travel connection point online. So if you've got something you want to try to connect with somebody or have a particular individual trip that you wouldn't mind having a friend with, we're trying to create a connection point there. We're doing trip coaches to try to help our trip leaders. Trip leaders are the core of our model. Somebody that says, I want to go put a trip together for Cambodia. So we want to make sure we have the support that's there and the tools that are necessary to do that. A couple of the fun things that we're looking at for the next few years. We will produce enough trips for a group of 150 people that have a variety of places, a variety of lengths, a variety of costs, and a variety of experiences. A couple of the things that we thought about, though, was what if we did a family trip where you could bring your grandkids or your kids or your adult children? So try to expand the reach of our thing a little more. We've encouraged the development of some hands-on trips. The trip down to Costa Rica that Melanie and Paul are on right now is a hands-on work kind of trip. Might be an incentive for people. We travel sometimes for the relaxation, but we also want to travel with purposes to what we're doing. And then the middle one in the middle is we're going to be implementing a non-member travel fee next year. And what that is for people that aren't a member or an associate member, we're going to ask. Was that the buzzer that I got?
No. Keep
So,
going, Mike.
12 more seconds.
no, I'm done.
Thank you, Mike. And yeah, very looking forward to hearing about this Costa Rica hands-on trip and the family trips. Thank you. You guys are fun. Appreciate it. All right. And while Paula is in Costa Rica and Greg has a work commitment, Ken Hiller is going to take us through the membership items.
So our co-chairs, Paula Schwartz and Greg Carlson, got together and produced an 85-year-old Ken to give the committee, the membership committee report. There's several bullet points here. One is, of course, the automated membership application process, which has already been established. What will be new coming up will be a new member mentoring program in which each new member will be assigned a mentor who will help fully integrate them into the club. We also intend to establish quarterly Zoom socials that will be expanded to include more family members in those socials. And finally, 2 years off, we're looking to create a new member question and answer board so that as we recruit new members and they join, they have questions, there'll be a place for them to get their answers fairly quickly. So that's the membership report.
Well, thank you, Ken. Appreciate you stepping in too. And the membership committee is a big group and we need them to be a big group. So thank you. All right, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, Kelly.
Hi, everyone. As Mike talked about the trips being the fun group, this is also a super fun group. All the trips have socials, service included. This particular committee is in-person socials with a service component. So we want to celebrate what we've done, get some more promotion out on Facebook and our Instagram, which we have started doing. That is great. really reach out to our associate members, even more so than our regular membership, just to look at many social fundraising service opportunities. And we want to really celebrate. There's so many things that we can keep track of and be able to celebrate. So we want to make sure our dashboard is up to date, summary of the service and the social events, and really encourage all of our membership. If you're interested in hosting a social, a service event in your area, please let me know, reach out. But we're also looking for even some gatherings outside of the United States. And just as a teaser, we're looking at a social event coming up in Nova Scotia. So hopefully that'll come through.
Thank you, Kelly. Oops. Sorry. Okay, and Kathy, I don't believe you are on tonight. So I will take that one on our virtual challenges, right? So training on how do we do our volunteer hours, capture those in Ignite. So we just have an idea of how many people are participating in our virtual challenges. You know, there's so much fun to do in our own communities, and then to share the pictures. We also like to be sure that we're logging your hours so that we can also put that on our dashboard, which is that second one, is communicating that summary so you can feel even better about the things that we are doing. Okay, and Tim, are you on tonight? Because we know where Jelan is, and she's on the other side of the world. Well, let me go ahead and just go over this one. So as we were discussing that, Jelan put out a survey, and I should say Jelan, it was a communications team, sent out the survey about potential small interest groups, and thanks to everyone who responded, and some emails have gone out of those subgroups, and hopefully some of you are meeting already. And we want to try to implement maybe on a more frequent basis, but right after our meetings, if there's something that you want to find out about, some, you know, how do I use Ignite, right? Falling into the slide before, things that, or how do I get into DAC? How do I, you know, use the website better? So with all that opportunity, and happy to share that information with you. Continuously assess their club personal data protection, because you know, we as an e-club, this is all so important to us. We have to be online, and we want to be sure that your data is being protected. I'm so excited that next April we will be 5 years old, and so they are working very hard on the celebration for us on that. And we'd love to, if anybody, you know, wants to help be a meeting manager or learn more about that. So it's during these club meetings, there's some activities that you can help us with. That would be fabulous. And of course, using social media is one thing, but do we have a way of assessing and reviewing its impactfulness? And is that still the right answer for us? As you know, we would think that certainly it would be. So big job, but they are really doing a great job as well. And Amy, saw you.
So hi, Kelly and Mike think they have the fun. I get to play with money. Come on, this is the best.
Rock on.
So some of the things that we're looking at is, you know, we're getting DAC-DB down really well for this, and to make payments through their donations, we've got a little bit of a hiccup, but it's working really, really well for dues. And I think that we can improve on that and make that even easier for other things. We need to be better. And part of this is because we've got a foundation that one person takes care of, and grants that the team takes care of, and then myself as treasurer. Gets kind of weird to track donations and acknowledgements. So we really want to get better about that, because everybody deserves to be thanked for their donation to our club, to our foundation. We can't do the work that we do without that. And then still continuing to look at whether or not it's feasible for us to have a 501c3 of our own. And if we were able to do that, it would be a lot easier for tracking things because all the information would probably end up coming through me and then funneled out to someone else who is looking after the foundation. But it's been a joy, and thank you for everything.
Thank you, Amy. And I want to thank all of not just our team chairs, our committee chairs, but everyone that serves on these committees. This is so helpful to run a club in the way that we do, bringing opportunities to our members and opportunities to serve and to do our mission, right? To serve, to travel, meet people, and have fun and do good in the world. So this information will also be in our newsletter. And if you have any ideas that you'd want to share, or you would like to be a part of one of these committees, put that information in the chat or send me an email at rotaryglobaltravelers@gmail.com. Thank you, everyone. So, how would you like to leverage your credit card points for travel, right? Well, Ed Basl is a charter member of Reno Sunrise Rotary Club since 1989. As a retired attorney, Ed now considers his new career to be my wife's personal travel agent. I love it. Ed was raised on a small farm, but started his world travels by spending his second year of law school through the University of Notre Dame in London campus in Chelsea near Stamford Bridge Stadium. That experience opened his eyes to the benefit of being a world citizen. Now, as an admitted frugal traveler and to expand their opportunities, Ed's current hobby is maximizing the opportunities that points and miles travel can help them to go to more places, to then be able to spend more on the food, fun, and experiences once they arrive at the new cities and countries. So Ed will share a few minutes and points, and maybe we can all win a free trip. All right. So Ed, take it away and welcome.
All right. Well, thank you. It's my pleasure to be here for a few minutes and share how you can find your own travel options. I hope I'm coming through all right. Here's where we've been internationally and where we're going, mostly because of points and miles. We were recently in London for pubs, plays, and football in January, Italy for Carnivale, which is Mardi Gras in Italy in February, Grand Cayman in May, and just returned from Malta in the Mediterranean for a month during September, October. We'll be in Cabo over Thanksgiving for a couple of weeks, back to Italy for Viareggio Carnivale and wineries in London in January, February, Ireland for most of April, Grand Cayman again for several weeks in May, and I'm already working on next year's plans for Brazil to visit a foreign exchange student that was our first one in the Reno Sunrise Club years ago, who has invited us to go down to visit her. All the places we go, we also try to meet up with the Rotary clubs if they're in the locations where we're at, meet various Rotarians, find out what they have as far as their meetings and plans and fundraisers, and try to learn as much as I can to bring back to our own club. You know, I haven't used a travel agent since 2012. And even then on that 2012 trip, it was only because we had a group of 20 going to Ireland. And so I wasn't going to be responsible for 20 people as opposed to having an expert take care of those types of things. But so you can see from just what the intro is here, I spend a lot of time no longer thinking about what I used to do, but only planning for the current trips and the next trips. And a lot of it is because of the hobby that I've taken up here. So those who enjoy lining up your straight trips through your travel agent, who want to do things your way, pay a set fee for a set time, and know that everything is taken care of for you, you don't need the risk of what I'm going to tell you here, and most of what I would say is probably just fluff. But for those of you who truly enjoy putting together your own trips and putting putting them together in the most frugal way possible, you'll find that using these credit cards and credit card points, or what I call the credit card points and miles game, can actually work for you. Rule number one, though, is never get a credit card if you're not going to pay it off. Because if you start paying 24 to 29% interest on debts that are on credit cards, you're never going to get any value out of any credit card. So I use my credit cards, pay them off every month, and make sure that we're able to use the benefits of the bonuses when we get the different ones. And then we end up finding that we literally get thousands of dollars worth of value out of many of our trips. And I'm not here to sell any of these things. I'm just here to tell you, here's what I have done and been able to do. And if you can use some of these points yourself, please do so. Now, the screen that we have here is, I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. All of these sites, if you just Google or Yahoo or DuckDuckGo, these places on your computer, the Points Guy, the Daily Drop, Tim at Rome, the Points Analyst, all of these websites provide a ton of information and will give you much more detail than I can in the few minutes that I have. But one of the points that I do try to make to begin with is that many of these newer cards are very expensive. Like American Express has just come out with an $895 card. And Bank of America, they still have some lesser cost ones. Chase Sapphire Reserve has a $795 card now. Capital One Venture X, $395. Citi, a $595 one. But all of these, when you sign up for them, if you just pick one or two, and you get 100,000 points or 125,000 points, or some of them up to 175,000 points, you can get tremendous value out of it. I used to only use the cards that would provide for flights, because those were always the biggest expense in most of our trips. Recently, I've also added credit cards for the hotels, simply because the benefits that they provide are at such a low expense. Almost all of those credit cards for hotels are $95 or $100 a year. But what you find from the other cards that I was just talking about, the American Express and the Venture X card, they sound like it's a lot of money until you look at the benefits that you can get from them. Almost all of them provide more in return just through their travel benefits if you use the availability of what they offer. So on a $795 credit card, if you have $600 worth of automatic credits that come back to you, $200 for Clear when you sign up for Clear, your every 4 years when you renew your global entry, that is automatically paid for. You get $200 worth of credits on Uber. You get all of these other credits that you normally use anyway. You just figure out which card to put it on, and it more than pays for what is there. But the biggest thing that I have found is I upgraded us to business class and upper class on some of the flights. And so what I do is I look at what the costs would be if we were paying for those. And then I look at what the points value would be if we can get it in that fashion. And what I found is we have literally been able to get upwards of thousands of dollars worth of value out of almost each of these flights. Over the last year, a couple of years now, we've had 4 trips to Europe that were all paid for on points. And when I was checking what the costs would have been for those, it was anywhere from $2,500 or more for business class or upper class seat that ended up just being the fees, taxes that were paid along with the points that were used. And there are many ways to use them. I know that I could talk about all of this stuff for hours on end, and John could vouch for me on that part of it. But I really just want to hit a couple of the points that if people look at these things and take the time to do your research, I'm expecting that all of you are probably better experts at all of this international travel than I ever hoped to be. And that maybe if you just get a point or two out how to make an easy flight based on a point, the points that you might obtain from these cards, that will provide at least some value to those members who are looking at being fairly frugal, but adding an extra trip or two along the way. It sometimes works out best to just give maybe an example of all of this. We recently, when we were in Malta, we used our points to go from Reno to San Francisco on a direct flight on Virgin Atlantic to London, and then take a cheap flight to Malta on Malta Air, and the return the same way. Well, we had recently just obtained our IHG card, which covers intercontinental. It covered 5 free nights at the Intercontinental. I referred my wife and she got the card, and another 5 nights. So we had 10 nights at the Intercontinental that, when we looked it up, were over $400 a night for the room. And our cost for those 10 nights was basically $299 annual fees to get the bonus that came with that card. We used our free nights with Hilton, both going and coming, on the Heathrow airport, because we had the Hilton card, which was a $99 card. So over $500 worth of value for $200 worth of investment, and we still have 120,000 points on each of those cards to use for future stops. So if you are a Marriott person, a Hilton person, an Intercontinental person, a Hyatt person, they all have their credit cards and they all have major bonuses. Rather than go into the individual amounts for each one of them, I had it all in my notes and everything, but I don't want to keep you here all night. These sites that I've given you will give you more information in a short period of time about travels to Europe, to Asia, to Australia, New Zealand, and how to maximize your use of these various types of points as you go forward. In going through all of the things that I have done, one of the things that I would suggest is that as you look at these things, and all of these names that I gave you on that page there, they're all looking to get you to sign up for their paid version. I use the free version and get more information out of that that makes it very easy to obtain what I look to obtain for the various travels that we do. And so at this point, if you do the same type of thing, you can find out as much information and use it to your advantage. Oftentimes, what I suggest people to do is, if you're looking for a new credit card to be able to get a major bonus, find a friend who already has one. Have them refer you, because they get a bonus for doing that. So you're in effect sending them on a potential free trip. At the same time, you're getting enough points to go on a free trip or 2 or 3 and places to stay at the same time. And then you have your bonus, they have their bonus. And what I have even done, as I mentioned earlier, is I then have referred my wife to get a similar card, and it doubles those benefits, and mostly on the ones that are the less expensive annual fees, it more than pays for itself. When I added up what I was looking at on some of these, it turned out that I would say that even on our one round trip, where the costs would have been over $2,500 for the upper class seats going to and from nonstop US to Europe, we were sitting with people that said they paid anywhere from $2,500 to $3,000 by just paying for the seat. And we're not aware of how easy it would have been to get it for just the taxes and fees and the points of a credit card. They used their credit card to pay the full amount. And when we added it up, it would have been over $10,000 for our round trip. And we, with all of the credit cards that I have and use and maximize the value out of, that would have more than covered twice as much as we spend on that one trip for all of the cards and the benefits that we get out of it. And then now multiply that by 4, because we did 4 of these trips. Multiply that by the over 30 days that we have been able to use for the points on the various hotels that we had. Now, that doesn't make everything free. It just makes everything available to you to spend on food and fun and experiences and museums and other things that you want to do and side trips while you get to some of these more exotic places. And part of what I also try to do is put together, I'm trying to put together a package so that when I refer people even for points, I can use those points to put together a fundraising package for our Rotary Club. So what I'm looking to do is to try and put together a European trip and a US trip where the people who win the prize get the number of points that are needed and to go along not only on the trip, but then have lined up to where people can obtain places to stay. And then again, they're doing the same thing. And it's all because if people signed up for those cards, those benefits can be put together or bonus points that I would receive. I can put that together as a fundraising package. So I haven't got that finalized yet, but it's on the agenda for this year's fundraiser. And I'm looking forward to doing some of those things.
Ed,
yes.
if you'll excuse me, we need to wrap it up, but there was a question in the chat about how many credit cards do you use for this?
Well, I mean, really, I generally recommend there's like 3 major cards that I call my go-to cards. And that is American Express, the Platinum card. The Venture X card, to me, is one of the most valuable because it's 2 points for everything that you put together. And the Chase Sapphire Reserve card. Those are the 3 go-to cards that I use. And have only now started to add those extra hotel cards. Virgin Atlantic is one of the cards that I get because they have one of the best transfer rates. Once you have points on the other cards and can transfer to Virgin Atlantic, it's only $15 to transfer to other people. So if I end up having several 100,000 points, I could give away, like I did to my son-in-law when they went over to Europe and wanted to go upper class, 155,000 points for $15. Most of the other ones don't have that available. So there are a variety of those things that can be done. And while what I need to do is, like you said, wrap this up. But what I will do is I will forward, the full presentation that I had as if I did have an hour to do all of this, and people can review it to their heart's content. It also includes my phone number and email that if people have individual questions, you can text or email me. I'm more than happy. It's right there on the bottom. There you have it right there. So people, I'm more than willing to answer questions, to assist with people and how they can use some of these things. I guess the first point still is don't get a credit card for the points unless you're going to pay it off every month. And even if you get a more expensive credit card and you find that you don't get the full value of it, after you've got those points, go ahead and you can downgrade it to either a $95 card or a no pay card. And yet you've already gotten more than the value out of that card. So like on the ones I was talking about.
Ed, I'm so sorry. I have to wrap it up. I do apologize, but I'm
Then,
also so glad that we have this recorded and definitely take you up on your offer to share the presentation.
Number
And
one, I will share the presentation.
we'll
I
have
thank
you
you
back
for this
sometime as
opportunity.
well.
All right. And at this point,
Thank
thanks
you.
again for the opportunity. I appreciate being here. And it sounds like all of you do such great work.
Oh, thank you. And this sounds like a full-time job.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Because of you, right? We've been talking about giving a lot tonight and your generosity. And it is through your generosity that we were able to give $1,000 toward a global grant in Guatemala for the Guatemala Literacy Project. So you can read all of the slides, information, all the things that money provided for both teachers and for the children and at the schools. But what we need to also understand is the impact of the giving, not just what we gave and what it provided. So, and getting information, a thank you from the Literacy Project, they said, your generosity will make possible a better education and a brighter future for many school children in impoverished Guatemalan communities. So I thank you so much for the impact of your giving as well. So we have our Hawaii social and service coming up. You should be on the WhatsApp group, all of that. I think we've got that pretty much wrapped up. Everybody's getting excited about it. I know I am. And Robin, do you want to take us through these slides for our next social in February?
Sure. So we're looking forward to having everybody at our home here in Tampa for the Super Bowl. We're putting together a variety of items. We've got swimming with the manatees, possibly before. Oops, go back a little bit. Go back one.
Okay, I was going to show it.
So we've got swimming with the manatees. We've got a service project at the Arc of Tampa Bay, which is an organization that helps mentally and physically challenged people become financially independent. And we're also considering a tour of the cigar factory, which is the last remaining cigar factory in the United States, as well as a tour of Ybor City and dinner at the Colombian restaurant, which is Cuban. Our focus has been to not look at beach stuff and theme parks, which is what everybody comes to Florida for, but rather old Florida, the other things. And now you can go to the next slide. So what I need from everybody, because we're still planning, I need to know some things before I can finalize stuff. How many people are planning on attending? What are you interested in doing? Of course, everybody's interested in the Super Bowl. I know everybody's interested in doing service projects. We're looking at two, actually, the one at the Arc, as well as another one with Jericho Road, I think is what it's called, that helps people who have had addiction problems get back into society. Swimming with the manatees, the visit to Ybor. We're also looking at doing a game night at our home, and Colin's been putting together a Rotary trivia. So we'll see who knows the most about Rotary.
Oh, pressure.
Or do people want some downtime? You can go do your own thing. You can go to the beach. You can go explore downtown Tampa. So I need to kind of find out all this stuff. So if you're interested in coming, please send me a message through Ignite, and I will add you to a WhatsApp group, and we can talk about all this stuff. Or you can email me. My email's here, or you can text me. That's my phone number. For some of these things, especially the manatees, I have to make reservations by December to ensure that we have a boat. They do 12 to a boat. If we have more than 12 people, we can have 2 boats. I think we may be limited to 24 people, however. And next slide.
It's trying.
Where I live at is in Brooksville. It's about an hour north of Tampa. You'll fly into Tampa International Airport, and you will need to rent a car to get here. So you might want to coordinate with other people so we don't rent a bunch of cars. The suggested hotel is the Hampton Inn in Brooksville, Dade City. Here's the link, and I'll put it in the chat as soon as we're done as well. It's a Hampton Inn. It's nothing fancy, but we live out in the country. There's not a whole lot. There's also a Holiday Inn Express near there, but I would choose the Hampton Inn over that. Just so everybody's aware, we do have a cat and 2 dogs. So if you have pet allergies, you will want to bring appropriate, I don't know, antihistamines or something. And if you're going to go on the cruise after the social, it's very easy to drop off the rental car at the airport and pick up an Uber from there to get to the port. It won't be a problem at all. Normally when Colin and I cruise, we take an Uber and go to the port. It's by far the easiest way. And the port in Tampa is smooth. It is really easy to get through and get on your ships. So that should all flow very well. And I know we're short on time, so I will stop there and add the hotel link to the chat.
Thank you, Robin. And we will be seeing this information in the newsletter as well. So yes, please send Robin your interest so she can get you onto that WhatsApp list. And we'll see a slide on the cruise a little bit later. And hopefully you can stay on just a few minutes more. So one thing we'll start seeing more information on these upcoming ones. I would just say that Seward is Seward, not Sewell, but sometimes we get typos. So it is Seward. Yay. All right. And our little walking, it's great for the Galapagos Island. I love the frog. Yes. So again, this is the new one for the Tampa travelers. If you want to extend that, and we've got an optional Royal Caribbean cruise to Mexico. We'll see another slide on that one as well. For Malaysia, the price is good, and he's looking at adding a service day on one of the islands. So we want to think about that as well. And I'm very excited to hear about this Japan hiking trip. So that's going to be something fun, but always, fun, right? And here we see for the Tampa extension information here. And again, this will all be in the newsletter. So you'll have that information there. Yes.
Thanks for acknowledging that the Vikings will be winning the Super Bowl that day.
I didn't put that there. I'm just saying.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Buccaneers. Sorry, Mike.
I got to move on. I'm just saying. Love you guys. All right. So again, new trips pulling your attention to that Tampa cruise and then the southern Japan. Lots of things in the works. We've been talking about Costa Rica, and looks like we might start getting a date together for Nepal. And so our next speaker will actually be trying to reach you from Ecuador, and our speaker will be the part of the reforestation project that the group that's going down there will be participating in. So excited to hear from Maria on that as well. And then our own Susan Nickerson and her mom will be doing our presentation November 11th. So I know you look forward as much as I do to those. They'll be great programs. I want to thank Marina again from Uganda. That's late hours for you too, and to all of our guests that I may have missed, and thank you, Or, for our tech team. And if everybody wants to come off of your speaker, unmute, and we'll say our 4-way test. If you want to follow with me, the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth?
Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build friendships? Will it be beneficial?
Is it fun?
Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Ed, again for speaking. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Thanks,
Ed.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks, Ed.
Thanks, Annette.
Bye.
Bye
Okay,
now.
nice to meet all of you.
Those in Spain and New Zealand and all.
Lynette, are you keeping the board on for a little bit?
Do I need to? I'm going to stop. Have we stopped recording?
I don't know. I just thought I'd ask.
Stop recording.